Good evening, brothers and sisters. This video is primarily going to be on my YouTube channel, but I'm also going to be uploading it to TikTok as well as to Instagram and Facebook. I wanted to break down and discuss how I'm doing mentally, like a mental health checkup, because I believe it's important that we do check up on each other and we allow ourselves to get our thoughts and what we're feeling and our emotions out so that we can just have them somewhere besides just in us, festering and boiling and just growing into this very unholy, wicked, unrighteous, evil stuff that just makes us do things sometimes and makes us think things sometimes and say things that are just not good. So I wanted to make this video for you guys just to go over how I'm doing, because the last time I've done this was probably a couple months ago or maybe a month ago, but it's been a while. And there's some things that have happened, and so I just wanted to get it out there, just how I'm doing, and especially since I know I'm crazy. I know I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I know I'm psycho, that I'm insane, that I got a couple screws loose. Like, I know there's gonna be brothers and sisters who comment and message and say, oh, those things aren't true, you're not that way, mental illness is not real, it's just feelings and emotions, they're lies from the devil. I mean, fine, you can say that. I don't care, I mean, go ahead and say that, but for me, my truth, what I believe is that I'm crazy, and I'm okay with it. I've accepted the truth that I'm crazy, so it's something that does not bug me anymore. It doesn't frazzle me or get me feeling some type of way. It just is. But so the question is how am I doing? How is this old boy doing? I'm gonna be honest, I wish I was doing better. I could be doing better. There's some things that I'm struggling with right now that are difficult for me. They might not be difficult for other people, but for me, they very much are a struggle. And so I'm trying to work through how to combat these struggles. A couple things that have been giving me a pretty hard time. One of them has to do with me, just me personally, just something that I have to work on. But it's just, I'm very symptomatic lately if I look over the past month or 2 months, there are periods of time that my symptoms are on high alert, that they are heightened, that they overpower me. They take control. And it's not fun when that happens. It kind of sucks, kind of hurts, mentally and physically. And it's happened over the past month, 2 months, to where there's been, it can last 2-3 days, it can last a week, it can last 2 weeks, but on average, the past couple of months, it's lasted about 4 or 5 days, to where my symptoms are worse than usual, and I feel alone when it happens. In the moment, anyways, I feel alone because I don't really have people to call, to talk to on the phone, for 30 minutes, for 45 minutes, for an hour. I don't really have people that I trust that I can just be like, yo, I'm having these kind of thoughts. I'm having these thoughts to where I want to unalive myself. I'm having these feelings and emotions. I'm hearing these things. I'm seeing these things. I'm, very paranoid. It feels like people are reading my thoughts. I feel unsafe. It feels like I have a radio in my head and it's broadcasting everything I do. There's not someone I can call and talk to about that stuff. And it sucks because I used to have someone, specifically one person who I could do that with, but they don't trust me anymore. They've put up a boundary between us, and that boundary is just, they don't share things with me anymore. They don't talk to me, really. I Facebook, I text message, I voice message sometimes, and if I get a response back, sometimes I'm happy, but other times they go, 4 or 5 days without messaging me, then all of a sudden they message me and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm okay, thanks. And it's very brief. It's very just, there's no emotion or feeling in their text message. But I used to have someone I could talk to about things. I used to, but not anymore. And so when I am feeling triggered, when I feel like my symptoms are on high alert and they're taking over my life and really taking over me, essentially, there's no one to turn to. Of course, I have a therapist that I usually see once a week, and I can message her on Grow Therapy or on the platform I use for therapy, but it usually takes them 24 hours to respond. So it's like, if I message them and I need help in that moment, it takes them 24 hours to respond. So, what's the point? By the time they respond, something new has come up, something worse. My symptoms have developed into something else that just is giving me issues. I have my nurse practitioner, who I see maybe once every 2-3 weeks, but they're for medication, they're not really for talking. And so I can't really talk to her. That's not the service she provides. And I thought therapy would work. I had high hopes for therapy when I started again, but therapy hasn't done what I expected it to do. And maybe it takes time. Maybe it takes time for it to make improvements in your life, maybe. But it just hasn't. And medication, it really hasn't made improvements. I've been on medication now for I want to say 3-4 months, and I don't feel better. At times I feel worse. And so, the things that I'm trying just aren't working. And so if someone asks, how am I doing? The honest to God, the truthful, real answer is that I feel like I'm falling apart sometimes, or a lot of the time. I feel like I'm drifting at sea, and there's just, the sharks are circling, right? They're stalking their prey. I feel trapped, isolated, alone. It's just, and I know I put out videos, I know I put out content that is supposed to help people, but the more I put out content to help people, the more I struggle, the more that I'm going through. I mean, for me right now, the symptoms I'm struggling with the most right now would have to be a combination of three, probably. Hallucinations, disorganized thinking, and paranoia / delusions, a little bit of both. And I'll explain. For hallucinations, my auditory as well as visual have picked up a lot. They've increased a lot to where auditory is 24/7 for me. I hear voices nonstop, even when I'm trying to sleep. Even when I'm sleeping, I feel like there's constant noise in my head. And so auditory hallucinations just never shut up. They're always going, the radio never turns off. Visual hallucinations, they've picked up a lot to where I've been seeing things more frequently, probably almost every day now. Usually it was when I was stressed, when I was going through something. Usually my visual hallucinations were triggered by something, but now, over the past month, 2 months, my visual hallucinations are off the charts. It went from maybe, once or twice a week to every day. And again, I know there's gonna be brothers and sisters out there, my Christian friends, who say, oh, those are unclean spirits, those are demons, those are whatever. You're seeing, things that are from Satan, that are evil, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sure, maybe. But I've seen these visual hallucinations stand by other people, touch other people, put their hands on their shoulders, do things to other people, kill other people. I've seen them do hideous, murderous things. And oftentimes, they're evil looking figures. I mean, sometimes they're scary movie characters, like horror movie characters. Sometimes they're figures in hoodies and just something over their head, over their face. Sometimes they have really dark, just black eyes, just like a rotting teeth. They're just hideous, long, dirty ass fingernails. But I see things. And so my auditory and visual have just skyrocketed. It's just, they've picked up a lot. And it's something I'm struggling with because for 6-7 months, I was doing okay. I was holding down the fort. I was taking care of business. I had things on lock. And I wasn't letting them get to me. But over this past month, 2 months, I've let them, not that I've let them, but they've slowly crept under my skin. They've slowly got under my skin and they know exactly where to pick and prod. And so they're getting to me. And then, paranoia and delusions, that's something I'm struggling with a lot too, to where I feel for my safety more, like people are gonna hurt me when I go out. There's times where I feel like there's a radio in my head and it's broadcasting messages, and people are like reading my thoughts and are trying to intercept what I think, and that kind of stuff goes on. So like there's some delusions and paranoia that's going on for me that's causing some issues. They've caused a lot of issues when it comes to interviews for work, because I want to try to get a part-time job. I want to try to work maybe 10, 15 hours a week. This paranoia / delusions, they've ruined interviews. They've really messed up interviews to where I just can't do what most people can do, which is sit in an interview, answer questions, be respectful, have a conversation. Just those are things I can't do. And it's bugging the crap out of me that I can't do what other people can do. And then disorganized thinking is giving me hell of a lot of issues. It's just, my thinking is all over the place, topic to topic, in my head, and when I'm in conversations with other people, I go from topic to topic, and oftentimes the topics are not connected, or they're loosely connected to where you could kind of see where someone would go from this to this, but really it's far-fetched. Like you have to go to extremes. Like it's that kind of loosey-goosey, like how do you really get there? Like I guess, but still no. I've had disorganized thinking like that to where it's just staying on topic is impossible. And even for me, my thoughts feel fragmented. They feel like they're like when you break glass and you hit it and the spider cracks go all over, like it's cracked in all directions. And you see yourself in like 1,000 different ways because there's like 1,000 different cracks. I feel like my thoughts are fragmented like that, to where that's why they can't connect, because the glass is shattered and it's going in so many different directions, the broken pieces. And I can't get them back. I can't get my thoughts back. My thoughts have been stolen from me. And I try to get them back, but I can't. And so and then there's times where I just don't make sense. I've recorded myself before in times where I feel like I'm going through a psychotic episode, and there's speech that's recorded that I'm like, what the hell am I saying? What am I thinking? Because that makes no sense. It's complete mumbo jumbo. It's word salad. It's just, it doesn't even make sense to me, and I'm the one that said it. So I've recorded myself the past couple months, and it's concerning. So those are some areas that are really giving me issues. And like, previously it was just Cheyenne and Skylar that gave me issues. Those are two hallucinations that I have most frequently. Skylar and Cheyenne usually follow me around everywhere and distract me and bug me and yell at me and make fun of me. I've talked about them in other videos. Skylar is an emo goth princess kind of person who loves the color black and wears black boots and black leggings and usually a black dress or a skirt, and has a lot of tattoos and black long hair, black makeup, and is your stereotypical black emo goth looking person. She's very violent, loves trying to degrade me and humiliate me, but she's followed me around for years. And then there's Cheyenne, which Cheyenne is more of a, what I would say is a country bumpkin, like an Appalachian Mountain hillbilly girl. She loves her Wrangler jeans and her flannel and her boots, her cowboy hats and blonde hair. But they usually are the ones giving me issues. But now it's just, my symptoms are just, I feel like they've taken over at some points. At a lot of points, they feel like they've taken the reins, that they've taken the driver's seat, the steering wheel. That's what it feels like. And I hate it, because I was in control for 6-7 months. Now I don't feel like I'm in control. And I know there's going to be a lot of brothers and sisters who are like, oh, spiritual warfare, you're being attacked by unclean spirits, you're being attacked by demons, you're being attacked by Satan. Make sure these brothers and sisters are trying to be helpful, they're trying, and they're gonna say things about, read your scripture, pray, go to church, be delivered, you need someone to lay hands on you. And the truth is, I've tried being delivered before. I've had people lay hands on me. I've been to a couple different churches and they've put hands on me and prayed out loud and did their kumbaya, and it hasn't worked. I've had people try to deliver me and it does not work. And so I'm like, I know God can heal. I know God heals and performs miracles, even today, but just because he can do it, it doesn't mean he will do it. And for me, I do think and I believe, it's part of my purpose, which is to have this illness and to struggle with this illness so that I can help get the word out that this illness is real and it impacts people and it changes people's lives. Part of my purpose that God gave me is to have schizophrenia and to get the word out that this is a mental health crisis, and there's millions of people like me who are going through shit, and we need support, we need help. But from both Christians and non-Christians, from everybody. So just because God can heal doesn't mean he will heal. It very well could be those thorns of the flesh are meant to be in your skin, in your flesh, and they're meant to be uncomfortable and to give you some issues. But I do believe it's one way God tests you. He tests your perseverance. He's testing how much you trust in him and you're willing to endure for him and follow him. He's testing you, whether you have courage and perseverance. So that, I bet we would agree on, that God does test his soldiers, does test his servants, for sure. But I know there's going to be brothers and sisters who say that crap, and it's like, I know you're trying to be helpful, but it's not very helpful. But that's the other piece that I'm struggling with right now, which is it's not even me particularly, it's just the whole situation of, I didn't realize my content would get the response it's got, to where there's my content for my TikTok especially. I've reached a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who message me on a daily basis, who comment and say, good job, you're getting out your experience, you're allowing other people to see how mental health affects people. And I've met so many people who say, my brother or my sister or my cousin or someone in my family has schizophrenia, and your videos really teach me how I should act and help them and support them. So I have those kind of people who are amazing, who are truly, seeking my content because they want to help, and they want to increase their own knowledge of schizophrenia and how to be more supportive. But then you have people who just, I want to say they're trying to be helpful, but they're not. And a lot of times it's Christians, it's brothers and sisters who, comment this Bible verse or that Bible verse or that passage, and They're like, be delivered. And I've already talked about this a little now, but they talk about be delivered, or you need hands laid on you, you need to pray more, you need to go to church, you need someone to exorcise those unclean spirits from you, blah, blah, blah. And the engagement I'm getting from Christians, I'll be honest, is probably one of my issues right now. One of my struggles is that there's a lot of engagement from Christians who, they are so ignorant. They are so stubborn in their old ways that they only can think and see and act and speak through a spiritual lens, and that's it. They can't see things through other ways or other lenses, to where it's like, I'm not asking you to see things through a spiritual lens. I'm just asking you to see mental illness, as a disorder, as a disease. Schizophrenia is as much of a disease as cancer is. And I don't see Christians going to every single cancer patient and saying, you need to be delivered from your cancer. That doesn't happen as much. I personally don't see that happening. But no, they're willing to jump on social media and tell people who are going through mental health things like I am that you need to be delivered, you need to be saved. I mean, I am saved, but hopefully you know what I mean, that you need to be saved from your illness, rather. And it's like, how can you call yourself a Christian, but then dehumanize someone who has a mental health disorder, who has an illness, who has a disease? You're belittling that person who has a disease just because you don't understand it. And it's true, a lot of Christians, a lot of brothers and sisters just don't understand mental illness. A lot of brothers and sisters don't understand the fact that a lot of the mental health disorders are due to the brain, and the brain is malfunctioning. It has chemical imbalances. There's something with the neurons, the synapses, that it's a brain disorder, that there is something wrong with a person's brain. And it's like, it has nothing to do with unclean spirits or demons. It's that person's brain does not function in the same way your brain functions. And so I have a lot of brothers and sisters a lot of Christians who are engaging with my content, and they're trying to be helpful, but they're not helpful at the same time. It's irritating me. And the thing is, I'm not going to stop them from commenting. I'm not going to limit their comments. I'm not going to say or block them. I'm not going to block them either. I'm going to allow them to make their comments, because I believe that's something that we should be able to do, is share your viewpoints, share what you think, and if someone disagrees, they disagree, okay. I believe that we should be able to disagree and love each other. And part of my TikTok, of my account, is that we're able to share viewpoints and disagree but love each other. That's one of the reasons why I made this account. But that's the other reason why I'm struggling, is there's just engagement on my account that is bringing me down. It's causing me to lose a little bit of hope. And I know I shouldn't get flustered. I know I shouldn't let it impact me, but it does. But anyways, this is how I'm doing, guys. I just wanted to share this with you, this 30-minute video of just what's giving me issues, and I just want to say that I love you guys. We might not agree on everything. We might disagree on mental illness, but just want to say I love you. And if you're a evangelical Christian brother or sister who 100% Bible, 100% spiritual lens, and you can't see anything outside of that, I still love you, but just know we're probably going to disagree on some things just because I try my best to be able to see things from different viewpoints, from different points of view. Because how else are you going to understand what's going on if you can't see other viewpoints, see other possible ways to get down a similar junction, a similar road? Because there's more than one way to figure something out. There's more than one solution. There's always more than one solution. But just know, I love you. You might be a very religious, evangelical, a Bible thumper, but I love you. We read scripture, both of us. It's just the way I see and understand scripture is a little bit different than you. And that's okay. But anyways, guys, I just hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching my content and for watching this mental health check-in per se. So thank you guys. I love you. Peace out. Thank you.